Hello, this is Emilie Gonzalez with Miami's Community News. Today we have a very special guest, Frank Calderon from the Solid Waste Management Program in Miami-Dade. Welcome, Frank.
Thanks for having me.
So, how are you doing today?
Doing good.
And I know today, or a couple of days ago, it was technically fall just started.
Yes.
But we're still in hurricane season.
Yes.
What does that mean for the program?
Well, I tell Michael all the time, the broken record comes out, basically, because I repeat this every time we talk about hurricane season.
I'm sure.
The season started, but I always tell people, you got stuff around the yard, you got the tree overhanging limb that you got to get rid of, and you keep procrastinating. And I'm not judging on procrastination because, I'm a notorious procrastinator myself, but the best time to have taken care of those things was before hurricane season started.
Yeah, of course.
The second best time, potentially, it's hard to say even now because right now there's two possible threats on the ocean. What happens is when you wait too late to get rid of the stuff with our bulky waste system, because tying it all together, you get rid of the stuff in your yard and you call for a bulky waste pickup, or you make an appointment online and we'll come take it. But it's by appointment system now. There's so many appointments they can do per day, and it starts to get booked if something looks like it might come our way. And so my advice to people who know they have something is check now anyway. It doesn't cost you anything to go online. It doesn't cost you anything to call 311. Check and see what the appointment availability is. And if you know you got to get rid of stuff and there's still some time, do it now. Don't wait any longer. Don't wait any longer, because right now there's two systems brewing in the Atlantic. So
I know it's been raining nonstop here.
And we've had it's I'm almost waiting to see an ark with a couple of different species of animals.
I know, it's been raining for 3 weeks straight. How does that work with the garbage getting all, what about all the water? Does that affect you guys?
It doesn't affect us a lot. It's a little bit inconvenient to to drive in it to pick up. One of the other issues, especially for bulky pickup, because you'll put items out there, when they get wet, they get damp and they get heavier.
Of course.
Reduces the volume a bit, but they get heavier. So it's a little bit of an inconvenience for us, but we manage. We're able to still pick up regardless of the weather.
And is there usually a certain volume that you guys pick? Or is there a limit?
Well, we allow, for our residents, our customers, we allow 2 pickups per year of 25 cubic yards. Think of a cubic yard as about the size of a washing machine.
Okay.
So 25 of those, or about the size of one of the medium trucks that we typically take out. We'll allow you to combine 2 pickups in one if you have a lot of stuff. If you have the 2 pickups available for the year, and it resets at the end of the calendar year. So January 1st, you get 2 pickups for next year, brand new. So there's always that.
Yeah. And how is it for your drivers? And are you also looking for any new drivers?
At the moment, we're not advertising. I know in general, they do need drivers in general.
Yeah, of course.
The best advice I give people who are interested is to just check the website where all county jobs are listed, miamidade.gov/jobs. I actually did a search this morning for truck. To see if they're looking for, and I think 3 things came up, but they weren't really truck driving positions. I think one of them may actually been like a mechanic or something like that. So if you're interested, just go to miamidade.gov/jobs, and I would advise to check every couple of weeks or so and just see when a job opens up. We're not the only ones that hire people with a CDL, for example, commercial driver's license. There are transit hires bus drivers from time to time, and I know they also are in need of drivers. So, if you're interested in working for the county and you drive, maybe a job isn't open with us, but you might find one with transit. So just keep looking and be persistent.
And you said that you guys have different size trucks?
Yes, we have different kinds of trucks. We have the waste trucks, as we call them, the garbage trucks that everybody thinks of, the automated side loader. It's the one that has that arm on the side that picks up the carts and spends the whole day dumping them into the back. We have tractor trailers, the big truck for our transfer operations. We have roll-off containers for our trash and recycling centers, the TRCs. So we have, a variety of trucks that our drivers drive.
And so every area that you guys pick up from, they're on a separate schedule, correct?
There's some variation in the schedule as far as pickup, as far as like the garbage, like the daily garbage. Everybody we pick up is either on a Monday. We pick up twice a week. Okay. They're either on a Monday, Thursday schedule, so we pick them up Mondays and Thursdays, or Tuesday, Friday.
Okay, yes. I've talked to a lot of friends about this, and I guess it just kind of depends on the area, correct?
Yes, yes. And speaking of the Thursday, it's coming in a couple of months, Thanksgiving. One of the things we find that some of our customers mistake or aren't clear on is Thanksgiving Day pickup. We do pick up garbage on Thanksgiving.
Really?
The advice that we give is that's a day where, if you're not getting up early to cook, you're sleeping in late. So, let me put the garbage cart out. If it's not out by 7 a.m., there's less traffic that day. So if your driver is usually at your house by 9 o'clock, they might be by your house by 8 o'clock or 8:30. So to set it out by 7 a.m. the night before, even if that's better for you.
And regarding other holidays, do you also pick up on other holidays? Or?
Almost every holiday. There's only 3 holidays we don't pick up, and one of them is going to be coming up after Thanksgiving. We don't pick up on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, which is in January, the 3rd Monday in January. We don't pick up on Independence Day, July 4th, and we don't pick up on Christmas Day. And if Christmas Day the one holiday, Martin Luther King always falls on a Monday, so that one's easy. But 4th of July and Christmas Day, they can fall even on weekends. What happens is if they fall on a Saturday, then there's no pickup the Friday before.
Okay, makes sense.
If they fall on a Sunday, there's no pickup the Monday after. But we'll always announce that in advance, especially when it falls on a weekend, and we know it's a little bit more confusing, so we make sure to make an announcement and make it clear.
And for these announcements, where do people find this information?
We have our press releases posted on our webpage, solid waste, miamidade.gov/solid waste. We also have our social media channels, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter or X, and we're also we piggyback on the county's Nextdoor account as well. For Facebook, it's Miami and Instagram, it's Miami-Dade SWM. Okay. No, I'm sorry, that's our Twitter X, Miami-Dade SWM. For Instagram and Facebook, it's Miami-Dade Solid Waste.
Okay, good to know. I know earlier we talked about the rain affecting bulky pickup, but what kind of items should people set aside for bulky pickup?
For bulky, sure. Furniture, we'll take tree limbs, things of that nature having to do with landscaping waste. We'll take appliances. We do advise typically with appliances, especially a refrigerator, freezer, the doors sealed tight or airtight, basically, to remove the doors because we don't want somebody getting stuck in it and getting locked and not being able to get out. We accept, I think, up to 4 tires. We accept, I mentioned furniture, appliances, things like that you got to get rid of around the house.
Yeah. And is this put together with all the other normal trash items, or do they go to a special place, or how does that work?
Handled separately. Okay. We do have 2 landfills, and we do have a lot of stuff going to landfills out of the county as well, but we do have 2 landfills. The South Dade landfill handles mostly a variety of stuff, including what we call garbage, household waste, like the garbage from the kitchen. The North Dade landfill handles more of the vegetative stuff, the stuff that we do from bulky pickups.
And what's kind of the difference between trash and waste? I'm not too familiar.
I think that's more of a term that we use internally ourselves to distinguish, and waste is more like the yucky smelling stuff, the stuff from your house.
Okay, makes sense.
The stuff that, like the kitchen garbage, whereas trash is more like the lawn waste. And besides lawn waste, there is stuff that's a little bit drier, like furniture and appliances. And
correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of this stuff that's considered waste is that's more biodegradable, correct? That kind of stuff?
Well, the garbage, more of the biodegradable stuff, or more readily, except for the lawn stuff. The lawn stuff, of course, is also biodegradable. But yeah, the garbage is stuff from the kitchen, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Got it. And I'm sure a lot of people have their own systems at home for that. Maybe like some people have composting. I believe Michael
Yes.
has his own, correct?
Yes, he talks about his composting. He has I think it's an automated bin in his case, which he says works fantastically. So if you're into that may be a good option as well.
And would you guys recommend something like that? Like maybe it would be a good option for someone to have?
For someone who's interested, yeah, absolutely. We also have our own home composting. Well, it's a partnership really, where we work with I believe with the library system and with the agricultural extension office, the UF IFAS, that has an office down in South Dade, where they conduct a workshop, a free workshop on home composting through the libraries. And when you complete it, if you're a Miami-Dade resident, we will provide you with a free home composting bin. Now, it's not a fancy automated one like the one Michael describes, but
we
it's
don't all
free.
need a fancy one.
But it's free, and to Miami-Dade County residents, you can just visit our webpage, miamidade.gov/ actually, miamidade.gov/home composting will take you right to it.
Good to know. Yeah, I've kind of wanted to get into that, and I've recently gotten into recycling a lot more at home. How does that system work differently from the waste or garbage system?
Well, we have the most obvious things. We keep it separate.
Correct.
So we have the blue cart for recycling. The recycling, the waste garbage pickup, we handle ourselves with our employees.
Okay.
The recycling is picked up by contractors, and then there's an additional contractor that handles the processing of the materials, and they're actually able to sell a lot, because we get this a lot. Oh, you guys don't really recycle. Oh, it goes in the garbage. No, we do actually, and they do actually take the stuff, and they are, they're a big corporation. They have contacts. They have people that are willing to buy the materials, and they're actually able to sell everything from the cardboard to the cartons to the plastic. The metals, of course, metals are always highly recyclable. And they're able to sell them.
And how long has that system or like that partnership been set up? Like, has that always been in place here, or?
We've had that since 2009. We've had the program going the way it is now.
Yeah.
We did renew the contracts. I don't know if it was last year, just very recently, last year or early this year. The big change really is we added the contractor that does the processing of the materials. They also decided they wanted to collect. So now we added them. So we have 3 different contractors. We used to have 2. Now we have 3 collecting. And one of those also does the processing of the materials.
Okay. And in terms of collecting, I know a lot of people are kind of not sure what is considered something that can be recycled or not, and maybe it may contaminate the whole thing. What are some things that you can for sure recycle?
For sure recycle cardboard boxes. We used to say no to pizza boxes because of the grease. Now we say if they're lightly soiled, and by that meaning very little grease on it. So as I like to joke and say, if the pizza tasted really good, it's you probably can't recycle that box. It's probably very greasy. Cartons, and that could be juice cartons, milk cartons, broth is sold in cartons sometimes as well. Cans, food cans and beverage cans. Food cans tend to be made out of steel, and beverage cans, soda cans or beer cans, tend to be made out of aluminum. Both metals are very recyclable. Bottles, when I say bottles, I mean plastic, which one of the few types of plastic we take in the program. Plastic bottles, and that can be bottles and jugs. Actually, that can be milk jugs, that can be water bottles, that can be laundry detergent or dishwashing detergent bottles. That type of plastic will take. Glass bottles also will take. We will also take, as far as plastic, yogurt and butter tubs. No other types of plastic though. We'll take. I think I mentioned most of the paper. Junk mail, office paper, that sort of thing. What we will not take, public enemy number 1 for recycling, is plastic bags.
Really?
That's not to say they can't be recycled. They just can't be recycled in our program, because the way our program works, everything is sorted by machines, and the plastic bags just get wrapped up.
Oh, wow.
Now, there are places that will take plastic bags. A lot of grocery stores, a lot of retail stores. What I advise people is just the next time you're at grocery or store, just check to see if they have a bin outside where they take plastic bags. And if they do, you make a mental note, okay, next time I can bring all these extra plastic bags I have floating around the house, and they'll recycle them.
That's good to know, because my family always puts the plastic bags in the recycling.
Yeah, just don't put them in the recycling in the blue cart. But yeah.
Got it. And in terms of like cartons and glass and like the yogurt tins and everything, do you have to clean it before you recycle it, or?
We only ask you lightly rinse it. It doesn't have to be meticulous. You don't have to, sit there in white glove like the army type of thing. But yeah.
Okay. And so you can only not take the plastic bags because of the
the processing. Yeah.
Okay. What about paper bags? That's fine, correct? Or?
Paper bags are fine, yeah, as long as they're not wet or anything like that. As long as they're dry.
Okay.
Dry, clean, and dry.
And what would you say is the biggest mistake that people make in terms of recycling?
The plastic bag is a big one. Another one that we get a lot of is textiles, clothing. People put like old clothes or old carpeting or drapes or whatever inside the recycling. No, we can't take that. And we're looking... we want to manage the waste properly and try to reduce how much goes to landfill. Mm-hmm. So we're looking at things we could do with textiles, but for now, they have to go in the garbage. If they're usable, if it's clothing, consider donating them to someplace. But yeah, that can't go in. Hoses. Now that we've got Christmas down the road here, and even with Halloween coming, you got people that put like string lights on their house, and then at the end of the season they throw them out. It's okay to throw them on the garbage, but don't put them in recycling, please, because we call those tanglers, because they can't be recycled, but they can definitely tangle the equipment up. So
yeah, of course. And how come in some areas, like in South Miami, where we are right now, you guys only take the recycling, not the main garbage?
Well, I believe that goes back to a decision by the city to handle their own garbage. The city of South Miami was incorporated a while back. I don't think it wasn't until the 90s when the county mandated that new cities would have to remain part of receive certain county services. But South Miami is incorporated way back, if I'm not mistaken, sometime in the 40s. And they chose to have that service. But then when recycling came along, in the 80s, 90s, they decided to partner with the county on that. So, and that's been like that at least as far back as I can remember.
Mm-hmm. And how long have you personally been with the county, or have you always been for the county, or just
with the county since 2000? Since 2000, and with the solid waste department since about 2009.
Okay. And what were you in before this?
Before I came to work,
I guess, what were you doing in the county before solid waste?
Oh, I worked at, no problem. I worked at the water and sewer department.
Okay.
Doing a similar type function, informing people about the different services and what the department does and that sort of thing. And
did the departments ever kind of collaborate? I'm sure a lot of stuff is very similar, and there's a lot of issues.
From time to time.
Yeah.
One example is coming. I keep going back to Thanksgiving, one of my favorite holidays. I keep going back to that. One of the examples that we worked with them on the past was Thanksgiving is, I came to find this out as part of my work, is one of the busiest days of the year for plumbers.
Really?
Because people are doing a lot of cooking there at home, and they don't realize, and they pour a lot of grease down the drain.
And that's terrible, right?
That's terrible. What happens is clogs the pipes in your home, clogs the sewer pipes leaving the house, causes a problem for you when you got to call the plumber. If you're lucky and it doesn't stay in your house and it goes further downstream, it causes a problem for the water and sewer department. So we've kind of work with them to encourage people not to pour grease down the drain. You can stick it in a metal can, freeze it, and then throw it in the garbage. Okay. It is food grade waste, so...
Yeah, I always figured you're supposed to throw that in the garbage, like any type of grease or oil.
Yeah, you don't want to pour it hot in there because it's going to just make a hole in your plastic bag, but it can be absorbed by paper towels and stuff like that, but it can make a hole in the plastic bag. But you can put it, one thing that we've advised in the past people to do is put it in a metal can. Make sure it's a metal, not plastic like the coffee cans that are made of plastic, but a metal can of some sort, and you can freeze it or let it. You don't have to even freeze it. You can just let it cool off, and then when it's cool, you can throw it in the garbage.
Okay. And since you've been in this department, what are the most surprising things you learned about how solid waste works in Miami-Dade?
Wow, quite a few. I learned about recycling and what can and can't be done. I learned quite a bit about that. Before we had the fire a few years ago, I was surprised to find that most waste was incinerated, actually. And the reason being for it, more than anything, was volume. We were able to reduce waste 90%.
Wow.
Like if it would have to go to landfill. I'm trying to do math here on the fly.
You don't have to do math. It's okay.
So let's say 100 cubic feet of garbage would be reduced down to about 10 cubic feet of ashes by the time you were done. And as a byproduct of that, you'd be creating electricity. So, it was kind of a win-win. Again, that was until we had the fire at the facility and it closed down. But we were doing that before. And not even all the waste, but a big, like, maybe about 50% or so. And that it just made a big difference, a huge difference, because that meant just less landfill capacity needed.
And is there any type of measurements you guys take to be a little more environmentally friendly? Or
we're working on a lot of that stuff. We have been for a while. We're working on that now. We're actually working on a zero waste master plan. The guide us as to do more with that. I know the mayor has really wanted to do a lot of stuff with that, not just because that's one of the options. And I think they finally agreed. At first they said yes, and they said no, and now they're going back to it. The incineration of the waste, or waste energy as we call it. But not just that, but beyond that, to do other things, remove as much metal out of the waste stream as possible. Metal, like I said, is highly desirable, highly recyclable, and other items. Textiles is another thing we're going to be looking at doing things with, because there's a lot of just textile waste, and that includes, like I said, carpets, drapes, clothing.
Okay. And how does the whole solid waste system work? Do you guys have different centers? Is it one center, or
we have different locations just geographically? If we just had one center, just the traffic, the drivers would just spend all day in traffic. And we don't want that to happen. So we are a little bit decentralized. We have different. We have 2 landfills, one in North Dade, one in South Dade, and we have 3 different waste transfer stations. We have 13 trash and recycling centers that we offer for residents, for our customers, to bring in waste, where they would all normally call in for a bulky waste pickup if they have smaller amounts of, like, yard waste. For example, this is like a do-it-yourself center, and it's open 7 days a week. They can come in and drop it off.
Oh, that's great to know.
They can bring old furniture there as well if they don't want to use a bulky waste pickup. If they have just a small amount, I'm going to waste a whole pickup for maybe just a couch. You can bring it there if you're our customer, and they're not going to charge you extra for it. So
that's good to know, because I feel like many times my dad has something to throw away, and we're like, we don't know where to go because they just took our garbage. It doesn't fit in our garbage. So you could always come to the center and take it there.
Most stuff you can call. It depends on what it is, but a lot of typical household items. You can always visit our website, miami-dade.gov/solid waste, for more information on what you can and can't bring there. You can call 311 as well, and they'll tell you.
And in general, this is how people will contact the department for anything that they need.
Pretty much.
And what type of information do you guys have on the website? Like anything?
We have the different services we offer, the different facilities we have are listed on there, including the trash and recycling centers. All 13, we have the addresses for them. And I think you can click on links and it'll take you to a map and show you online to show you so you can get an idea of which is the closest one to your house. We list items are acceptable and recycling the items that are not acceptable. We list because the TRCs, the Trash and Recycling Center, we have 13 of them, and each of them is different. And some of them are bigger than others. Some of the smaller ones can't accept certain items, so we list each one and what items they can and can't accept. The different services, you can go to our website and you can go on. There's links to where you can place an order for bulky waste pickup, and stuff like that.
And has there been anything that you've kind of implemented in your own household while working here, like different about how you throw away your trash or recycling or anything?
I tend to be more careful with recycling, and cardboard boxes is a big one. Yes. Try to recycle them as much as possible.
And do you feel like a lot of people throw away a lot of stuff every day here in Miami?
Yeah, I try to be a little bit more conscious also of what I throw out. I'm trying to throw out stuff and if it can be reused or something new made out of it and that sort of thing.
And you guys, in terms of like businesses, how does that work?
We don't provide service to businesses. It's
Okay.
typically private waste hauling companies that pick up. Eventually, it'll come to our system.
Okay.
Most likely, it'll come to one of our landfills or one of our disposal sites. And yeah, and then when we talk about commercial, that also includes for our purposes, it includes multifamily residential, like either condos or they'll typically have to have a contract in place with a private company to pick up their waste.
Yeah, a lot of HOAs, I believe, have their own system in place, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And do you guys only cover households, or are there
Single family, pretty much.
Okay.
We go up to, I want to say, duplex, triplex. I think we'll go up to quadplex, which is like 4 units, and that's about it.
And what about for parks or other like county
institutions? We're working on something. I don't know where that's at yet, but for now they also have to hire private.
Oh, really? Okay.
Private haulers to pick up their waste. And
do you know why that is, or just kind of?
I know. It's something that kind of predates me, so I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting because I always you would figure like it would be within, but it makes sense. Yeah.
Well, the part of it I think has to do with they're located all over the country.
Yeah, no, of course.
And even within other municipalities, and even including municipalities that we don't generally provide service to.
And what areas are within your, I guess,
our service area?
Services, yeah.
Well, unincorporated Miami-Dade County, and then there's 10 municipalities where we provide full service, including recycling and garbage. And I'm going to try to remember them. I don't remember them all off the top of my head, but Aventura, Opelika, Pinecrest, Palmetto Bay, Sweetwater, Sunny Isles Beach, Doral. And those are a few off the top of my head. The ones where we don't provide garbage, but we provide recycling are off the top of my head. Some of them, I can't remember all of them. There are 9 total. El Portal, Miami Springs, I believe Virginia Gardens as well. South Miami, which the offices here are located in South Miami. They do their own garbage, but we pick up the recycling for them. Miami Beach. And those are the only ones I could think of right now.
Fair. And do you guys ever collaborate with Broward, or?
No, not really. Not really. Although we did, some years back, we did go and visit, they allowed us to visit one of their trash and recycling centers just to see that they were using a new system for access, for residents to access, and we went to visit them to see how that worked out.
And before the fire, did you guys take the trash to the same place, or no?
For the most part, for operational reasons, sometimes we'd go just have the stuff go to landfill, but whatever we could, to the extent that we could, whatever we could incinerate for waste energy, we did.
And what's the system that you guys currently have in place after the fire? I'm not too familiar with. For
disposal, well, now what we have in place is we have our 2 landfills, of course, the North Dade landfill, the South Dade landfill. We're also working with a couple of different, at least one contractor, and I think we were looking to expand for waste by rail operation, basically taking the waste, and part of it is being driven up there by trucks by our drivers, and then part of it is by rail. Rail is more efficient, of course, and produces fewer emissions. So it's more of a win-win in that situation. But basically, they take the garbage on trains to a landfill that we contract with one of our contracted companies in Central Florida. I want to say it's in Okeechobee County.
Okay. And I know we only have a few minutes left, but do you feel like there's anything you want to tell the listeners that they should definitely know about solid waste?
Well, we were talking before the show about a damaged cart.
Oh, yes.
And what you should do. And that's always a good question because we get that a lot. Basically, call 311. Call 311, and whether it's a garbage cart or the recycling cart. And we have a few crews of people that all they do is they go out and they will either deliver carts to a new customer, or if somebody has a damaged cart, they will either on the spot repair or replace. If they can repair it, if it's something simple, they'll do it right there. If not, they'll replace it with not necessarily 100% new, but with a different one that's in better shape, that's in good shape. And what they'll do is they'll take the old one, and what they do is they not the scavenge isn't really the word. Maybe it is. They'll take the parts that are usable and use those to repair other carts.
And I know there's different size carts, correct?
Yes,
how does
correct.
How do they pick which one?
There are 3 different cart sizes. The default basically for most customers is the big one for the garbage, which is the 96 gallon. And the medium one for recycling, which is 65 gallon. We also have a smaller 35 gallon cart. But you can, a pro tip here, if you recycle a lot, is just ask them to change out the, and there's no extra cost for this, ask them to change out the recycling cart for the bigger size, the 96. You can also, for recycling, they'll allow you to have an additional cart if you need it. If you're like a heavy duty super duper recycler at your house, they will provide you with an extra cart for no charge on the recycling side. And again, pro tip, if you're recycling a lot, make it the large size as well.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. It sounds like the department is very fundamental to Miami-Dade, and not a lot of people realize just how important it is. So thank you for everything that you do, and thanks for being on the show today.
No problem.
It was lovely talking to you about it. Thanks. You. Everyone, thank you for listening, and I guess we'll see you next week, right?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. Have a lovely day.